Hi, I'm Chris Wardlaw for CarGurus, and this is the 2016 Acura TLX. Actually, in reality, it could just as easily be the 2017 Acura TLX, since the only changes for 2017 amount to 3 new paint colors. Either way, what I have to say about this 2016 model also pertains to the 2017 model. Now, with that detail out of the way, let's set the stage. The TLX arrived for the 2015 model year, replacing the TSX sedan and wagon, as well as the TL sedan. It comes only in a 4-door body style. It's available with a 4-cylinder or a V6 engine, and with the V6 engine, you can option it with Acura's torque vectoring super handling all-wheel drive. Now, effectively, Acura took both of the old cars, threw them in a blender, killed the appealing sports wagon version, and out-popped this mid-size performance luxury sedan. So, is the TLX really a performance luxury sedan, as Acura claims? Let's go for a drive and discuss. I'm driving a Fathom Blue TLX today. It's got a V6 engine and Acura's super handling all-wheel drive system, along with the advanced package and almost $3,700 worth of extra cost 19-inch wheels and summer performance tires. That brings the price to a total of $49,422. Now, does that sound a little high? For an Acura, it is. But if you really don't need the wheels and tires, and you can keep your hand out of the dealership's accessories cookie jar, you can roll home in one of these for just over $45,000, which is close to $10,000 less than an equivalent Audi A4 or BMW 3 Series or Mercedes-Benz C-Class. Now, unfortunately, the upgraded wheels and tires really give the blandly appealing TLX a presence that the car otherwise doesn't have. So it's really too bad that they're so expensive. Now, the good news is that Acuras are going to get better looking in the future. If you've seen the Acura Precision concept car from the 2016 Detroit Auto Show, then you likely agree that a production version of that vehicle cannot arrive soon enough into Acura's lineup to inject some excitement into its plain Jane sedans. My test car has Acura's excellent 3.5-liter V6 engine, which is making 290 horsepower. Now, this engine's equipped with variable cylinder management and an automatic engine start-stop system, and it's paired with a 9-speed automatic transmission and Acura's delightful SH all-wheel drive system. Now, this version of the TLX aims to return 25 miles per gallon in combined driving, according to official EPA estimates. And on my test loop, I averaged 22.8 miles per gallon. But it's important to note that I kept the integrated dynamics control system in either normal or sport mode the majority of the time. There is an economy mode, but that's apparently for people who forget that the whole point of buying a performance luxury sedan with a V6 engine and all-wheel drive is to have fun while driving, not to maximize fuel economy. If you want to maximize your fuel economy, get the 4-cylinder version of the TLX. So, how do all these components come together? Well, given the car's optional wheel and tire package, it's really kind of tough to say. I mean, the car seems pretty loud inside. It communicates a lot of road texture and in a fairly clear manner. And that, in my experience, makes it really difficult to do things like have conference calls in this car. Also, the grip is downright extraordinary, but it likely doesn't reflect the handling capabilities and the limits of a standard TLX SH all-wheel drive. Now, I can't state for sure whether or not my test car's optional footwear actually contributed to some of the weird suspension motions I felt while I was driving this car. Like over certain dips and undulations, and especially like if you're going over a bridge transition on one of LA's freeways, at an angle especially, there's a lot of excessive body motion in this car, and it's really unexpected for what is touted to be a luxury sports sedan. On a positive note though, the ride around town, and especially in the city where the pavement's kind of crumbling, is actually pretty good. Now, as far as the steering is concerned, it is naturally weighted, if somewhat lifeless, and there's a sense of the V6 engine's heft parked over the car's nose. I've driven the 4-cylinder TLX, and it feels a little bit lighter and more athletic than this car does. Now, I've got no complaints at all with the TLX's V6 engine, which is creamy smooth, it's loaded with power and torque, and it sounds terrific when it's revved. Now you switch the car into Sport Plus mode and you dive down a mountain road and you start flicking the paddle shifters, and the TLX puts a smile on your face, especially with the pricey wheel and tire upgrade. This car flies from corner to corner with grace, speed, and confidence. But there's just one problem. If it's hot outside, say with temperatures between 80 and 90 degrees, kind of like on my testing day, it's not gonna take long for you to cook the brakes. And I'm talking well done here, extra crispy. So if it's hot outside, you're gonna wanna take it easy if you're flinging this car down a mountain road from elevation to sea level. Now, while you're taking your time on your descent, you'll be comfortable thanks to these excellent heated and ventilated front seats. They're positioned low in the car, but they supply perfect levels of comfort and support, and they help to keep your backside cool when it's toasty outside. The rear seat's really comfortable too, and though space is on the snug side, every potential contact point is soft and padded, including the front seat backs. Plus, air conditioning vents help to keep the passengers back there nice and cool. Now, you're not going to find any USB ports back there or any side window sunshades, and this made my kids cranky, especially after my 8-year-old burned the back of her legs on the leather. Now up front, the driver faces stylish and legible controls separated by a driver information center that's used to program various features and functions. The TLX's waterfall style center control panel is starting to look dated, but it's fairly easy to understand and use, aside from the fact that Acura puts some of the climate controls on the touchscreen display and others on the dashboard itself. The stereo could also really use a tuning knob to go along with this volume knob. Acura's push-button transmission controls sit on the center console, and they're fairly easy to get used to, but I'd still rather have a traditional lever, in part because it's apparent to me that at some point in the past in this test car, somebody spilled something on these, and the driving mode button in particular is a little bit sticky when it's used. Storage space is generous and useful, and the TLX offers 14.3 cubic feet of trunk space when it's equipped with the advanced package, and that's because there's this 1.1 cubic foot storage compartment beneath the trunk floor. Now, unfortunately, Acura also stumbles when it comes to safety of the TLX. I'm not talking about in terms of the breadth and the depth of its driver assistance and collision avoidance technologies, which, for the most part, operate with a level of sophistication that continues to elude a lot of car companies. And I'm not talking about the TLX's 5-star crash test rating across the board from the federal government. What I'm referring to is the mediocre marginal rating that this car gets for its ability to protect its occupants in a small overlap frontal impact collision. Now, this car was a brand new design in 2015, and automotive engineers knew about this tough new Insurance Institute for Highway Safety test before it was implemented back in 2012 and before work started on the TLX. Therefore, there's no credible reason or excuse to explain why the TLX essentially flunks it. Plus, the TLX gets a marginal rating for the ease of use of its child safety seat latch anchors. Now, I can attest to that. In fact, I almost gave up installing my kid's child safety seat in this car. As you've probably gathered by now, I am not a big fan of the Acura TLX, although I do really want to be. While the quality of the interior materials, the comfort of the seats, and the refinement that's baked into the controls certainly qualifies this as a luxury car, it is a remarkably bland automobile from a design standpoint. As for the car's performance, Acura needs to tighten up the suspension, and they need to install a better set of brakes like yesterday. And finally, and this is my biggest complaint, the TLX needs a crash protection upgrade. That marginal crash test rating in such a new vehicle design is just impossible to forgive. For more of my thoughts about the Acura TLX, be sure to check out my full review on CarGurus.com, and if you found this review helpful, please share the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. For all of us at CarGurus, thank you for watching. The TLX needs a crash protection upgrade. That marvelous, what marvelous? Okay, I'm gonna get it this next time.